All right, we good?
Yeah, I think so. Do you want me to sing my song?
Yeah.
All right.
My favorite part.
The recap.
Nightmares started creeping. We stopped sleeping. Went to the shore. Wanted some potions, but we were too poor. It's been a long slog, but now we're in cog. 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 Yay! Thank you guys. Nice.
Yay!
Woke up in a lucid dream. Now we're hunting for the shards. We might be an oddball team, but at least we've got no bards. World Walkers.
Hey everyone, I'm Pedro, the GM and creator of World Walkers. In our last episode, our sleep-deprived group traveled to the city of Bridgeport. After an unsuccessful shopping trip, the group found their way to a series of caverns that Tompkins used to somehow leave the world of Obrimos. Now, the group ventures through the Ringing Mountains, which exists on Ertleby and Tin's world, the steam-powered world of Cog. Yep. Ertleby and I think Tin had both realized where they were. And you guys are currently in the tunnels, and Tompkins is kind of covering his ears, looking all around.
Vasa, with bags under her eyes, looks. She's also covering her ears, but then at the same time, she's kind of yelling. She's like, "Well, I'm not gonna fall asleep now."
Why would you want to? We're almost at Falas. The finest
What?
of Falas.
What?
Falas. Oh, my lungs.
Is it bad if I say it's actually phallus?
Phallus.
She's old.
Yeah,
That's what I
Brumblestone
was
would know
saying.
about it. I believe it's pronounced Follis.
I believe it's pronounced fellatio.
From the books I've read, all the rhythmical spellings have it as.
So Ertleby just narrows her eyes and makes a mental note, but not just a mental note. She also writes it in her exfoliation book. It's enemy dwarf.
Vasa, being snappish with her sleep deprivation, says, "Tompkins, you get us through this, because if I'm not out of the sound soon, I'm gonna kill something to stop the sound, even if it means you."
No. Hold on. Actually, that's not needed because, basically, and he looks around. He's like, "I know where to go."
Vasa sort of shoves him forward, being like, "Go, go,
Yeah.
now."
Should we try to sleep first?
We're in a
Vasa
tunnel.
pushes him harder.
So he moves forward, starts kind of navigating the tunnel. Tompkins looks around and studies the area as if he's remembering something, and he stops for a moment and then turns and says, "I'm remembering something."
Anytime he stops, Vasa just pushes him harder.
And he gets pushed forward. He says, "We have to be careful around here. There are terrible monsters down here that can..." Suddenly, the wall near Tin bursts open and a hideous creature emerges. The ape-like creature is covered in thick, hairy exoskeleton plates with pale, dead eyes and tusks that reach out like curved spears. It charges directly towards its nearest target.
Okay, we're probably dreaming. That's too freaky to be real. This is a dream, right?
Let's find out. So, what is your perception check? I'm gonna see if you noticed it in time.
I have a 12.
10?
I'm rolling an actual check, or is it passive perception?
It's up to you. You can take your passive if you wanted to.
Nope. I'm gonna try rolling. It did a little bit better. I got 14.
14? All right. So anyway, it has a surprise round.
Guys, everyone make new characters.
Remember how I was like, oh, I shouldn't be near creatures because, I'm supposed to be a far away person, so I'll just not use the feat
What?
that helps me up close.
What are your current hit points? 10. What are your current hit points?
40.
40. Oh, good.
Another critical hit.
No. 31.
What the fuck?
Damage or what she has left?
No, 31 damage. It comes screaming at you, and
What the fuck? How is that possible? That would have literally killed.
its claws
four
come
out of the
out,
five
and it
members of our
tears
team.
into Tin, left, then right, and then it slams its mandibles into her, and kind of almost lifts her off the ground as it kind of tries to impale her completely, and then she pushes herself off and catches her side and rises up. I don't want to narrate your feelings, so in terror, excitement.
No, like pretty pissed
Okay,
off.
pissed
No,
off,
pretty
alright.
pissed, yeah.
Tin, it is your turn.
31 damage.
Okay, well, I'm immediately going to cast Thunder Wave at this
Before
mofo.
you do,
Or heal
I
yourself.
need you to roll a charisma saving throw.
Oh, okay. 12.
You can't pull yourself out of its confusing gaze, and you kind of feel your mind wander. You cannot take reactions until the start of your next turn, and you watch as Tin kind of just stares into its eyes and drops her arms.
Can I slap Tin across the face and tell her to snap out
On
of
your
it?
turn, you might
Probably
wanna try
break
it.
your hand, right?
Yeah.
But Tompkins screams, says, "Oh God, it's one of them! We have to run now!" Its turn. It is going to.
It was fun knowing you guys.
Glad I came back for this, guys. Good job.
It misses with its 2 claws, but then lands an attack with its mandibles as it runs into you one more time for 8 damage.
Wait,
Oh my
me?
God.
Yeah, 10.
No,
I'm
not
down
Tin.
to 1 point! 1 hit point!
What the fuck?
Brummelstone? Like, Tompkins is begging you guys to run.
Well, I'm all for running. I feel really lost. Last I remember, I was fighting a nightmare.
It's the sleep deprivation.
But you were very
stuff.
agreeable about it.
I think I will cast Thunderwave, hoping to knock it back to
Nice.
give Tin some space to run, and then I'll start bolting in whichever direction Tompkins is saying. I think I can cast it at 2nd level, so I'll use a 2nd level spell slot to cast it.
It's got to be a 13. Yeah, you extend your hand. The orb kind of just stretches and turns into this huge kind of electrical, would you say like it's kind of a cube, right? Like a cage?
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
15-foot cube.
Yep. So yeah, this huge electrical burst replaces your orb and throws it back for how much damage?
So I do 3d8, 4, 9, 4 again, 13.
13.
Yeah.
Um,
And pushes in 10 feet away. And I said, let's go.
and as you do that, the you cause a bit of the rocks that it burst through to kind of cave in, and you've temporarily blocked its path with that as well.
From retreating or getting to us?
From getting to you guys, what are you doing after that?
I'm going in whichever direction Tompkins is.
Yep.
I am too.
All right. So everybody, you're just gonna take off running?
As long as I can make sure Tin and Vasa are with
Okay.
us.
Well, Tin is still staring where that creature was.
God damn it.
Well, we better bring her, and Ertleby transforms into a bear and grabs her.
Just looking at, throws her up.
Ah.
And you start kind of running off. Vasa.
Well, now that Erdl Bear has successfully picked up Transfixed Tin and is running off, Vasa's like, "Oh fuck, I'm not staying here," and she takes off. Really, she has like 90 movement that she could do.
So suddenly you kind of just Tin, you come to, and you are suddenly looking at the ground, and you're kind of bouncing up and down. And as you kind of gain your senses, you look and you find yourself on the back of a Erdl Bear. as
and I just recognized that I got the shit kicked out of me, so I just like pat her fur and I go, "Add a bear."
Ertleby is thinking really hard how much she likes ear scratches. So, FYI.
And I provide scratches.
That telepathy is powerful.
It's the Ertle bond.
Yeah, the Ertle bond.
So Tompkins leads you down a few tunnels, and then once you guys get into a small little alcove, you kind of tucked away from like the rest of the main tunnel you guys were in, and he says, "All right, everyone get down," and he kind of cuddles up. So I need everyone to make hide checks.
No problemo.
I can do that with my D20.
That's a stealth check. So I got 25. I am 1 with the wall.
I got 22.
I got 20. We are like painted camouflage.
Yeah, we are.
I got 7.
Nice. All right, you guys all settle down. Brummelstone is kind of just trying to get comfortable, like he's shuffling a lot, and
my back.
and Tompkins turns and say, "Guys, come on, be quiet. He's gonna find us." But the rest of you are able to keep them quiet. You guys got.
We actually like layer ourselves over Brummelstone so that we form a wall of hidiness.
And after a couple minutes of just complete silence, just being as quiet as you possible, you start to hear the slow, lumbering, heavy steps of the creature just walking through the tunnels until eventually it walks past you and then keeps going.
Ertleby's from here. Does she know anything about this creature?
No one ever goes into the Ringing Mountains. Like, they don't even like going into what's connected. Like, there's a forest that surrounds the Ringing Mountains called the Echo Forests, and the creatures in there are already deprived of sanity because of the constant noise coming out of the mountains.
Freaky.
And once it seems like the path is clear, Tompkins catches his breath, and he says, "Guys, like I was saying, we have to be really careful. There are terrible creatures in here."
Oh, really, Tompkins?
Vasa reaches over and twists his ears and says, "Yeah, you think, Tompkins? You think you could have mentioned
I was
that?"
trying to.
Can Tin reach over and like tweak his other ear and be like, "Next time when you say something, get to the point."
They're really strong. And don't look in their eyes. They have this kind of like insanity-inducing gaze that I don't know. You can lose yourself in them, but like not romantically.
Do they have a weakness?
What?
Do they have a weakness?
They're insane.
Vasa is
So
just like
outsmart him.
she's holding harder onto the ears. And she's like, can I rip it off? But then she turns to Tin and she's like, "Are you
They're
alright?"
weak to weapons and spells. Ow.
So is everything else.
he just doesn't know what else to do. He's like,
They take damage when you cause
Yeah,
damage, you say.
they can't fly, and they get hungry. Like, you just keep spouting off amazing facts until you let go of his ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tin is, she's like, we need to find a place where I can heal because I'm not in a good spot right now.
Oh, wait. I may be able to tide you over. Let me just go through this book here. So I felt a change as we were coming through this tunnel, and I think I might be able to help you. And Ertleby opens her hand, and there are 10 berries in her hand that if you eat them, it restores 1 hit point, and it provides enough nourishment to sustain a creature for 1 day. And so she's like, "Yeah, try these."
I could eat all of them, but I don't know how many to eat, so I'll start with 1.
Like any good grandma, I'm not going to let you stop at 1. I'm going to force all 10 of them down your throat. But I'm going to do it in like a passive-aggressive way where I'm like, "Oh, you only want to eat 2? After I went to all the trouble of making all these good berries for you?
Tin doesn't understand this feeling of guilt that suddenly overcome her. She's not familiar with that. She's like, I'll gladly take the rest, Grandma.
That's right, you will. Pretty funny how I'm able to make these berries in my hand now. Oh well.
I want to take a second to ask Olivia a question. Are you spontaneously casting your spells, or are you preparing what spells you have every day?
I prepared them,
Cool.
and so that's why I didn't sneakily
That's what I thought.
use...
No, I thought because you
Like-
prepared them, you were like, oh, berries. Okay,
Yeah.
I want to make sure that's
Yeah,
why. So Tompkins is like, all right, well, I think it's best if we use the secret passages that my family used so we can avoid all of the terrible creatures in here, if that's okay with you guys.
Tompkins, why have you told us this before
No,
now?
I was going to walk us to them, but then one of them found us before I could walk us to the secret tunnels.
Tin just isn't really happy with him, so she just shakes her head.
Vasa's too tired to punish Tompkins as he deserves. She just
Yes,
places her hands on his shoulders, turns him around, and says, "Lead on."
Okay. So, after about maybe 20 minutes of traveling and the wave of disappointment that hits you when you find the secret tunnel that has caved in, Tompkins turns around. He's like, it has been a while since I was down here, so maybe it's not a secret tunnel anymore. Maybe it's just a wall.
Definitely not built by dwarves.
He just kind of nods. He's like,
Rumblestone's a little judgy of the shabbily built tunnel.
Are you gonna go kick a stone to see how strong and sturdy it is?
Yeah, that's a lemon. Yeah, well, do you know any other ways?
I know how to get out of here without the secret tunnels. It's just we have to be really quiet.
Would anyone like berries?
He's like, oh, do you have any more berries?
Not for you, Tompkins. Don't go promising secret tunnels you can't deliver on, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fair. You can hear his tummy growl a little bit, and he's not even hurt. He's just hungry. And
Vasa turns him around and pushes him forward again.
All right, so new stealth checks.
22 again.
I fell off the table.
Oh, dang, yeah. Got a nat 20 with 3, so
24.
23.
9. I'm learning.
Are you rolling a d20? Just check that you're rolling a d20.
Yeah, no, I played the game long enough, and I deal with real math numbers. So. I'm an artist. I know what a d20 is.
I thought Olivia was the tree. Where's all that shade coming from? But
Oh, that was clever and subtle and went over my head almost.
But that's good enough. I mean, most of you are really quiet and you can help the others. So you start to navigate your way through the tunnels. As you sneak through, he starts to lead you down different winding paths and things. The first kind of opening that you come to, you actually are watching, as you walk in, you see two of the Umber Hulks, which Tompkins remembers their name eventually and tells you on the way there. They are, when you come into the cavern, the opening, they're battling each other. They're just throwing their fists heavily into each other. You're not sure if they're going for the kill, but you don't want to get involved, obviously, and your checks were high enough to sneak right past them as they're throwing each other into walls and screaming and stabbing each other with their mandibles. But you just get right past them, unless you guys
Must be mating season.
unless you guys want to get involved.
I think I'm okay.
Yeah, it sounds like a family affair. We're good. Here.
So you keep going again. New stealth checks.
Pedro, you tease. 21!
6.
I got a
20.
14.
All right. As you near the next cavern, you're overtaken by a series of deep, guttural snores. Peeking inside, you discover a scene that defies description.
Well,
Describe it
Sorry.
anyway.
Yeah. Done.
I
Keep
thought that'd be
walking.
funny. Sorry. I was very pleased with myself when I wrote that. You discover what must be the creature's nest. The beasts have climbed up the walls and driven their fists elbow deep into the rock, forcing themselves to hang. Some of them look like they're in a painful sleep. Others seem to have bled onto the rocks. How or why they would choose to sleep like this is almost impossible to fathom. And Tompkins just kind of goes white, and he just starts taking some steps back.
Vasa ducks down behind him and whispers, "Is there any way besides through there?"
And he turns around behind him, looks over your shoulder. No.
Then Vasa, very casually...
And then he ducks.
No, she actually juts the tip of her blade in her back and says, "Keep on going."
All right. So you guys start very quietly tiptoeing through the cavern. Every now and then you see one of them kind of snort and just... But other than that, you guys once again made high enough checks to get through that room as well. There were about 16 of them.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
I'm sure it would
Didn't
have
one
gone.
of us have a cloaking spell? I could have sworn one of us had a cloaking spell.
That she didn't equip for today because she was gonna boom things with the moonbeam and ignite things with the flaming spear and heat all the metals. Yeah, I didn't equip it for today, and I'm full of regret.
So you continue walking down the tunnels. At one point, you come over a kind of a bridge over like a natural bridge over a chasm, and you can see just piles of these creatures laying at the bottom dead. And Tompkins takes a second to look over the edge, and is pretty disturbed by it. And he's like, "What do you think this is?"
Maybe they're like lemmings? I don't know. They could have all just been on a jog and fallen off.
Vasa just keeps to the path and says, "There's not enough down there as far as I'm concerned."
Tin agrees.
Brummelstone just thought, and I thought Obrivus was weird.
Alright, so Pedro, could you just describe these creatures for me again? Because I've been on it's been like a scary carnival ride from the beginning of this game where they're just doing freakier and freakier things. And now there's a big pile of them being dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
At a bottom of a chasm? Yep. Okay.
Do you want me to read the description again or just go further into this?
Yeah.
Okay. The description...
But then add some more details
sure.
too while you're at it. How to kill them.
Yep. They are ape-like creatures covered in thick, hairy exoskeleton plates with pale dead eyes and tusks that reach out like curved spears. So basically, imagine them as kind of being hulkishly top-heavy, right? And then imagine that they have kind of two, instead of 8 spider eyes, imagine they have 2 dead eyes, right? Oh. And then they have huge tusks that come out, mandibles that come out of each side of their face and then curve forward. So they could essentially slash to the left and hook you that way, or they could slash to the right and hook you in that way. They can't really get both mandibles over you, which is kind of disturbing because it doesn't seem like that is an evolutionarily responsible way to grow your mandibles. What
are they doing with those mandibles besides fighting each other?
They just seem to stab people on the side and then lift them up. They don't bring anything in. It's just they've got 2 curved spears. Their chest has kind of a thick exoskeleton. They're kind of a dark bluish gray everywhere else, and they have kind of a fur like a spider. Thick spider-like fur all over their bodies. And then they have really large hands, and they have they have claws coming out of them, but the claws are crooked, and they maybe they grew right once, but they either maybe it's because they keep crashing them into the rock as they tunnel through them, or whether or not they just chew on them and grind them into twisted, sick, scary versions of claws. You're not really sure.
This is such nightmare fuel.
Yeah, not very pleasant to look at. Not easy on the eye.
No.
So.
I've seen worse.
Yeah, so it's just if apes were overtaken by a planet of insects and forced to be their new breeders.
How deep is the chasm, and do the monkey spiders at the bottom have any clear wounds?
No, that so you can see that it goes down about 80 feet, and no, it looks like they all died from the fall.
Sounds like lemmings to me. I don't know.
Vasa nudges Tompkins forward, urging him on.
And he kind of nods and keeps walking. I need stealth checks one more time.
Come on, Stu.
17.
19.
5.
Why? Statistically, that's like not even...
I should switch my die. It's really... Brummelstone can't get over how badly built these caverns are. And he is just like, oh, there's an error. This archway is obviously too long.
You would actually know that, like, these tunnels, there are some tunnels that are just naturally beautiful. But most of the tunnels seem like they were actually bashed in. Like true tunnels from a creature.
It's like giving a graphic designer something that was poorly kerned and in a bad font, and he just can't shut up about it. It's just really driving him mad. He keeps muttering under his breath. He's getting louder, apparently.
Apparently. So you guys continue walking through the tunnels. A lot of twists and turns, and this is about another hour before you come to the next large cavern. This cavern has a single creature in it. It's holding some kind of sharp stone, and all along the walls are symbols and words written in blood. It's not carving these with the tool that it has. It's cutting its hand open and writing words, messages, letters, and symbols.
Can I read any of them?
Yeah, so anyone can make an intelligence investigation check to figure it out. Ertleby and Tin could also make history checks if they wanted to.
I'm going to make an intelligence check, because that's all I have.
Neither of those.
I've got 22 on the investigation check.
I got 17 on my history check.
Okay.
I got an 18.
I got 6 on my intelligence check.
So you study it for a minute, Brummelstone, and you're perplexed because it's no language that you've ever encountered, and you can't find a pattern to it. And if you bring this up, both Ertleby and Tin will assure you that this isn't a language. It's just random smatterings of blood. Maybe it thinks it's writing in a language, but it's not a language.
Oh, Ertleby's going to write it down in her exfoliation book. She still copies it down anyway.
Okay.
To have a copy of the crazy blood writing.
Brummelstone realizes he actually does realize it, and it says, all work and no play makes John over and over, right?
It also says red rum in some places.
Yeah. Right.
So there's this, is it in the dead center of the room? And
No, it's against one of the
entrance is on-
walls, and as far as you know, it has not heard you yet.
Is there any stealthy way we can get across and past it?
Yep, you can make another stealth check if you want to, if that's the way you guys want to go.
Vasa first whispers to Ertleby, grandmother, do you have those vines?
Those vines? Oh, yes, I do. The ones that tie things down?
Vasa says, we may need those in case, and she just shoots a look at Brummelstone, in case we cannot sneak past.
It's not my fault they have such terrible cave design.
Do you think I could vine them while they're asleep without waking them up?
Well, there's only one, and it's just the one that's sprawling this stuff. It keeps cutting its hand. It's bleeding kind of bad, too. It keeps cutting into it. It's not getting a little dab. It's taking this sharp tool and just eviscerating one of its hands every time it wants to write something.
Yes, because I'm very sleepy. I forgot that we were in this room and not the room with all the sleeping ones. That spider monkey is messed up. Yes, I can entangle it.
Vasa says, only if necessary. Let's try to sneak first.
Okay, but you have to give me a hand signal when it's time to do the the vines.
And Tompkins is like,
let's
what's
work
the
it out
hand
now.
signal? What's the hand signal?
Yes, Vasa, tell us the hand signal.
Vasa just gestures dramatically at the creature like this will be the hand signal.
Like, Ertleby stares, and then is like, okay, I think I got it. Let's do it.
So you're going for the stealth first?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to go one by one. Are you guys all going to try and walk at the same time, or just one at a time?
All together, maybe?
All together.
Because I don't... Yeah.
To cover for each other.
Yeah.
I got a
And then
7.
That's all right.
Oh boy.
Uh,
It's going well.
I got a 28.
I got a 5.
Brummelstone is happy to finally have the second highest score with an 8.
People!
So you guys, you all kind of tiptoe. You walk and you walk, and you seem like you're quiet. And then Tin clears her throat, and Brummelstone and Tompkins go, shh. And the creature spins around.
Vasa begins gesturing.
Is that the signal? Is that the signal?
Hold on, we're gonna...
Ertleby's gonna just
Ertleby.
immediately cast Entangle.
One second, we're gonna
Just-
check the initiative real quick.
Entangle.
Cool, you do go first. All right, so it turns around and it wipes the blood on its face to kind of clear its hand, and starts to move towards you. And then what do you do? Like, do you do the finger wiggle?
You know I do the finger wiggle. So after a really embarrassingly long time before the message gets through from Vasa, Ertleby raises her hands and says, spider monkey, stay where you are. My vines are coming for you.
You can't go far.
You can't go far. Thank you, Mr. Dwarf.
Magic users gotta stick together, right?
And then nature responds to your call as vines and all kinds of thorns and plants that you have not seen for a long time because of how far you are in the mountains. Plants you're not immediately familiar with rip out of the ground through the bedrock and wrap around him, and he starts to break free, and then more and more keep piling on until he can't come forward.
Yes!
Vasa.
Fuck. Okay, you know what? Vasa's gonna dash in to try to kill it while it's tangled.
All right.
But she also shouts over her shoulder, get ready to run, in case it breaks free. Let's roll. First one is a 14. Is that a hit?
No, you meet its exoskeleton, and your sword kind of just like deflects off.
Okay. Second one is a 23.
That one finds it.
11 damage, and then she uses her cunning action to leap back to the group.
All right, so yeah, you dash in there. You're right on the edge of the vines. You don't step into them, obviously. And after the first attack, you know where you need to strike. You drive your weapon into its side, and then quickly dash back and rejoin the group. Its turn. It's going to try to break out again. And you watch as it just breaks free of all the vines and rips out.
Run!
And then runs forward and closes distance with the group. Brummelstone.
Well, Brummelstone will try to cast Phantasmal Force on it, or it has to make an intelligence saving throw, or it sees another creature within its mind's eye.
So you try to bring forth some kind of semi-real illusion, and either it's too dumb or its dead eyes do something more than just see,
Okay.
and it looks right through you.
Every time I try to use this thing, it sucks.
I also need you, I actually forgot to do this at the beginning, so you don't have to waste that spell slot if you don't want to. I need you to make a charisma save as you catch its gaze.
A lovely 2. Hold on, let me add my charisma modifier. 2. Guys, it was great playing with you. This is session, and this is what happened.
No.
Because I'm learning my lesson.
No. So, you look into its eyes, and then you hear Brummelstone make some kind of crazed scream, and then he turns around and takes a swing at Ertleby.
Mr. Dwarf, I thought we were bros.
This is your fault!
Can you make a melee attack?
Sure, why not?
You're gonna punch an old lady?
15.
What's your AC, Ertleby?
15.
So he just does 1 point of damage as he punches you in the shoulder
Suck it.
with a
I knew we were
crazed dwarven
Yeah.
scream. Tin?
I think, or Tin, how far are we from the other room with the chasm or whatever?
Oh, I think that was about an hour away, right? Did we say?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Never mind. Okay, so Tin's just gonna, she's just gonna take out her gun and try and shoot this thing in the face.
Okay.
No, not the face, not the face. Don't look at its face.
Well, okay, like, its throat, just below, you know, like that trick where you look at, like, just above their, like, their forehead? That's what she's gonna do and aim for his
So
forehead.
are you averting your
Okay.
gaze?
I have a cantrip. I don't know exactly because I haven't gotten to use it. It says True Strike, advantage on first attack roll. So could I technically level out the disadvantage? That takes up my action, right?
Yeah, on your next turn you gain. So it is one action. So you can still move.
She's gonna run closer to the exit, and it's just kind of like, "Hey guys, let's try and run and attack."
So yeah, you back away while averting your eyes, and then you'll have True Strike next round, which will cancel out your disadvantage by not looking at it. New round, Ertleby.
He's gonna light some stuff on fire. Look, if it's got dead eyes, clearly they've adjusted to the dark. And so it's gonna be afraid of fire, which is very bright. So I'm gonna cast Flaming Sphere, which is gonna make a big old ball of fire appear right on top of it.
Okay. Can you first roll me a charisma save?
I don't look at this thing. Are you kidding me? So I'm gonna put it between us and it. And there's a big old ball of fire there now.
Vasa?
Can I punch Brimstone in the face to try to snap him out of his melee wheelballing on Ertleby?
Yeah.
And I say, snap out of it.
Just imagine the
Yeah, literally just like...
Stop it!
Yep. So you start slapping him in the face. You deal 1 damage. What are you doing after that?
Then I'm going to use my cunning action, which allows me to use object.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to throw out my bag of 20 caltrops, which is the little spiky ninja things, to slow down. To slow it down.
Nice. What do they do?
Basically, caltrops. You can spread a single bag of caltrops to cover a 5-foot square area. Any creature that enters the area must succeed a DC 15 dexterity saving throw or stop moving and take 1 piercing damage.
Nice.
Until the creature regains at least 1 hit point, its walking speed is reduced by 10 feet.
Jeez.
A creature moving through the area at half speed doesn't need to make the saving throw.
That's pretty sweet. So yeah, you quickly pull the bag off your side, throw it forward, and scatter the area with caltrops. On its turn, it's going to try to run away from the flames. So we'll make that dex check. So it tries to run forward, takes a point of damage, and then it's going to turn around and instead try to wail on... It's going to go after Vasa.
Shit!
Oh god, oh god, oh god.
I believe in you. Just...
You whisper as she gets tackled
Yeah.
out of frame.
So its first claw scrapes into you for
Shit.
6 damage, Vasa. Its second one follows up for 12 damage, and then it's going to try to go for the mandibles.
Jesus Christ, what is it? Why doesn't it just pull out its little machete and add one in there too? Why doesn't it shoot at me with its machine gun nipples? I don't know.
And then it swings its...
The machine gun nipples are only on the girls.
So
Boy.
it swings its head to the right wildly and impales you for 12 more damage.
Okay, I am officially out of the game.
God.
Well, not out of the game,
Right.
but I'm 0.
So you watch as it kind of tosses Vasa about 5 feet, and she falls seemingly lifeless to the ground. Brimstone.
Am I awakened?
Yeah, you're out of it.
Okay.
Did it end its turn near the fire, or did it get out
Oh,
of
it
the fire?
did, right. So I got to make the save. Thank you. Which it fails.
It takes 3 fire damage.
All right. So yeah, the fire kind of ignites next to him and starts to burn the the back leg of the Umber Hulk. Brummelstone?
Well, I would go and stand in between it and Vasa. I'm going to do Magic Missile. I'm going to cast it at level 2, so it does an extra 1, so 15 damage altogether.
All right. So explosive force missiles rip out of the orb and fly into him and knock him back pretty hard, and he looks like he's trying to hold on. 10?
Cool. 10 is kind of like, she yells over to Vasa, she's like, hang on just a second, I gotta shoot this guy. And then she rolls to shoot the guy.
1 minute!
Oh my dear God. 10?
No.
I might as well have rolled with disadvantage, right?
Yeah, so you try and take a wild shot, hoping that your spell will guide you, but it fails you.
Such a waste.
Ertleby?
Holy crap! Spider monkey! Don't kill my friends! You're very funky. Stay put! And I cast Entangle.
And you watch as the vines and the plant-like entities below the earth once again respond to your call, rip themselves out of the ground, and wrap around him and restrain him.
Cool. Running to Vasa. Can I do that?
Yeah, so you sprint over 10 feet so you can get on the other side of her. Vasa, can you make your first death save?
I got a 10.
All right, so 1 success.
Oh, thank God.
Its turn. It's going to try to break out.
Don't do it! You don't want to do this!
It rips itself free.
No!
Son of a bitch!
And then runs towards Ertleby. But it can't do anything this round.
No!
So it's lumbering over to Ertleby, and then it raises its fists. Brummelstone.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast Thunder Wave.
All right. You release that wave of thunder again. It takes the form of a cube and tries to push him back, and it's holding its arms up, fighting through the blast. So it's still going to take damage, I believe, right? But it did not get knocked back.
18 damage.
All right. Yeah, so you watch as it's trying to hold on. The electricity's racing through its body, and it's just barely holding on. It's breathing heavy, and it has scars, or it has like kind of like burn marks from the electricity racing all over it. But it's still up.
No!
10.
Why won't you die?
10.
So I'm imagining like they're all grouped together and Tin's like on the other side by the door.
Mhm.
So is this creature basically like just facing away
Yeah,
from
it's not
Tin?
looking at you. You're pretty far away now. You're over 30
So-
feet.
So I don't have to worry about going crazy if I look at it?
As far
Do I
as
have to
you
roll with
know.
disadvantage?
You have to take a guess.
Alright, I'm far away from people, so I'm gonna take the crazy chance and just roll without disadvantage.
You are good.
Okay. 18.
Is a hit.
Okay.
Kill it for the love of God!
Aw, yeah, baby. It's 14 damage, piercing damage.
All right. So you hear that familiar crack of thunder that comes from the rifle of Tin, and you watch as the creature's arms kind of go limp and it falls to the side, nearly crashing in to Vasa, but just barely missing.
Oh my god. I feel such relief.
I just like have big thumbs up in the corner, like, yeah!
That is so awesome, Tin.
I'm gonna
I
drop
know.
a hammer on its head just to make sure it's dead.
Or, you could stabilize Vasa.
Well, that's Ertleby's got that, I'm sure.
Vasa just bleeds a little bit more.
Tompkins runs over next to you and tries to do a check. He has no healer kit. No. Like he's trying to
I would like
wrap
to
you up
try.
and stuff, trying to help, but he doesn't know what he's doing.
Human anatomy is so strange to halflings.
It's 50% more than they're used to.
It's all these extra parts. Does anyone want to help Vasa?
I
Yes.
will-
Yeah, I've got the healer feat. I can
Oh,
just-
yes, you do.
Oh yeah.
So I walk over, and with the healer feat, it basically brings her up to 1 one thing, so she's not like passed out.
Oh, you don't roll?
Yeah.
I thought it was like 1d4 plus something or something.
I thought that was if I can use that to actually like as a minor healing thing, but I think if they're
you don't
dying,
want to.
maybe.
Yeah, it's up to you. You don't have to. You can use it either way.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna.
Your insurance doesn't cover this level of care.
Man,
Story.
Tin really holding back on the heels with Vasa, just like constantly. Like,
I'm trying my best here, man. I'm trying to run a business. Okay. I'm just kidding. I heal her seven hit points. Oh, and then plus additional hit points equal to the creature's maximum number of hit dice.
So plus 4.
so she has 11 health now?
Yep.
Oh!
Yeah.
And then Tin goes, "You're welcome."
Vasa's gives a bloody gurgled cough, but then her eyes open and she sits up. It's just her first reaction is like and then she comes to, and then she looks around next to the dead creature next to her, and she's like, all right, I guess I took care of that. And then she gets up.
Yep. Tompkins takes a step back and looks relieved.
Well, let's get going.
Oh, is there anything special in the shard that it was using to carve its hand with?
No. It's just a big old rock that he had kind of maybe chewed on until it was sharp enough to cut into his hand.
Can I take one of its tusks for ivory?
Yeah, if you'd like to take a minute to sever it from his body.
No time, grandmother, no time!
You're right, yes.
Oh, Roberta would have been all over that.
Vasa corrals them and hurries them on.
Yep. So within another maybe about a half hour's worth of travel through the tunnels, you can see light up ahead. And
Could be a trap.
Yeah, they made a fire.
Tompkins first.
yeah, Tompkins is excited. He's running towards the light.
Let Tompkins go first. If it's a trap, he'll find out.
Tompkins gets hit by a train.
Thanks for listening to episode 16, Machine Gun Nipples. Sorry, don't forget, you can always follow. I don't know why we went with that name. My wife's making me go with it when I told her. Don't forget, you can always follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/WorldWalkersPod and on Twitter at WorldWalkersPod. If you have a second, I'd appreciate it if you took a moment to give us a review on iTunes. The reviews are one of the best ways for the podcast to gain exposure, so if you have a few minutes, it would really help me out. There's also still time to get in on the next live draw event happening soon if you become a patron over at patreon.com/worldwalkers. We have different levels that give you access to bonus art, early and exclusive episodes, and the previously mentioned live draw. Thanks to Kevin MacLeod over at incompetech.com for the music you heard in today's episode. And I also want to thank Syrinscape, who provided the sound effects you heard today. Visit them at Syrinscape.com. Now, something that will help me actually sync this up easier is if we can go around the room and have each person say something so I can have something to sync off of right away instead of trying to find something later on. So I've talked enough. Wesley, can you say something?
Hi, this is Wesley Hall. I'm a level 5 dwarf named Rumblestone.
Wow, we're all level 4.
Yeah, that's amazing.
You're special, Wesley. Wow.
I'm out of my league.
Olivia?
I'm Olivia Welch. I'm a level 3 druid.
You should be level 4.
Oh, God.
I got one of Olivia's levels.
Undershoot.
What level are you, Vasa?
My gosh, I think I'm level 4. Ding, 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 ding. Bachelor number 3, you're chosen.
Megan?
Oh, damn it. If only I'd remembered.
I've taken everyone's forgotten levels, and I am now a level 6. So.
Alright, that'll help me sync it up a lot easier. Because, like, with the other stuff I've been trying to, like... And then, Ertleby, can I get your new hit point total?
18.
What'd you say?
18.
Oh, 18. Really? Don't you take the average every time?
Yeah.
So, you start...
I'm level 4. I'm level 23.
Okay. Are you insulted yet that I rechecked your math and you're like a PhD in math at
No,
everything?
no. Addition is actually one of the things I'm worst at. You just don't need to use it anymore once you stop using numbers.
Wait, is that how advanced you are? You're like, past
like
numbers?
She
No,
like
like-
actually needs people dumber than her to do basic math because she's just on another level.
You're at the grocery store just crying.
I can't! What is tax even?